Greetings, Reelers. My name is Philip, and together with my wife Sherry and two of our friends, Chris and James, we're Fellowship of the Reel. Four people who love talking about movies almost as much as we do watching them. We hope you will join us as we dig deep into cinematic masterpieces, and some that are, well, maybe not. You have an opportunity to be the fifth host of our little show. Click the link in the show notes and leave us a voice message telling us what movie you would like us to review. You can also reach out on our Facebook page, Fellowship of the Reel. From all of us at Fellowship of the Reel, thanks for listening. Okay, on with the show.
Are you recording this?
Studying a movie in the mechanical level, I think can really bring some revelation.
I believe that no one sets out to make a bad movie, with the exception of...
On paper, this should work.
Yeah, this should work.
But I just don't like it.
That's your own fault if you haven't seen it.
Way over budget,
chases,
start cutting scenes.
Right.
Even the actors don't know what that movie is about. Shit, I wish I wrote that.
Which I love the title, but that movie's trash.
Well, it's oatmeal, man. It's good for you. All right, here we are. Fellowship of the Reel. Four friends sitting around talking about movies. This was James' pick?
Yeah,
Point
it was
Break?
my pick.
Point Break. I would have bet money that this would have been Chris's pick, but
It was a lucky break for me, you know.
yeah,
He picked Point
it was
Break.
picked for him.
It was one of those movies it was going to be reviewed.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it just had to be.
To Phil's chagrin, yeah.
Well, we didn't. I thought we had owned this movie. I thought Chris had given it to me. I couldn't find it. So we went down to like Movie Trader, and I think we bought it for $4 on DVD or whatever. And I thought it was very interesting. When we bought it, you know, the guy rings it up, he gives it to us, and as he's handing it to us, he goes, "Man, you guys enjoy that. That's a classic." And it does have that status, right? I mean, in a certain genre, this is a classic of that genre. We've all seen Hot Fuzz, right? Yeah, and you know, have you ever chased a criminal while shooting? You know, so it is hailed, even parodied,
Right.
as, you know, a classic of the genre. You know, and has made appearances in at least one movie, you know, Hot Fuzz or whatever.
Yeah, and it always fascinates me while like certain movies become classics or cult status, right? Other than just being, you know, like I guess one thing classics, like just really well made movies, well acted, everything's firing on all cylinders. It's curious, you know, I just find it interesting that, like, I love this movie, and maybe I guess by the end of the podcast we'll be able to explain it, but I'm not sure I can even fully explain why I love this movie so much. Because yeah, there's other movies that are better stories, better acted, you know, better made. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of technical aspects that I like about this movie, but yeah, I don't know, love it. Like I think we talked about this before, like comfort movies.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, without realizing it until starting to think about it, this is a comfort movie for me. I could put it in at any time and watch it, and can quote it without, you know, I haven't seen it in 10 years and can still quote it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the quotes probably work their way, like, I think we talked about this before, like, some people are music people, like they hear a song or whatever, and I guess they're singing that song in their head, where like, I'm like movie quotes, like all movie quotes come out of my mouth in like everyday life, applying them to everyday life
absolutely,
situations.
yeah. Same
Like,
here.
yeah, I'm sure Point Break, you know, like I know it comes out. You know? It's interesting. It's like Tombstone, like a highly quotable movie to me.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I thought that it mostly held up. I thought there were, and as we go, we'll discuss this, but I thought there was only maybe one or two cringe moments where I thought it was over the top 80s.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't made in the 80s, right? So it was like
91.
91,
Yeah, so-
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Opening weekend, July 14th, 1991.
Yeah.
And so to me, in that sense, it felt like that it was a movie late to the party almost because of the 80s action genre.
Sure.
This felt more like that
Yeah.
than it did, say, something even if it is early 90s. But so it felt like it was the tail end of that kind of action
Movie?
genre, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess yes and no to me. Like, I guess I see what you're saying, but I think early 90s still had a lot of those kinds of movies. To me, I feel like after Matrix, everything changed.
Yeah.
Like as far as action movies go.
Yeah.
Because like Con Air was 97, if I remember right. Face Off was like 97, 96.
Okay, so yeah,
I
I
feel like
guess
those are kind of the same. So
Yeah.
the early to mid 90s, and then after, I don't know why, but I guess technology and all the CGI, I guess, with Matrix, and I love Matrix, but it was a different kind of action movie. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a blow people up kind of thing. I don't know. I feel like to me that's when it changed. But yeah, it definitely that's
Okay.
my favorite part is the of action movies is the 80s and
yeah, I always
the
think of
early
just the
90s.
80s. Like 80s,
80s produced the most original best movies. Period.
yeah, as far as the
Even
the,
music for that.
the action.
There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
good music from the 80s, but yeah, movies for sure. That genre or that time period. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
You agree with that, James? You disagree?
That's a very elder millennial thing to say. Is it was better back in the 80s and 90s. I
am older,
agree,
sir.
But yeah, this came out when we were kids.
Yeah.
I'd say
I
10,
can't even remember when I
11.
saw it first. I know I didn't see it in theater.
I can't either. And this is what I wanted to get to maybe a little bit in the story, but I never caught it until these last viewings.
Really?
I always I knew that Patrick Swayze he was the ex-president, he was the guy.
Yeah.
I just always knew that.
But they do hide it from you. Yeah.
They hide it from
Yeah.
you. And now looking at it with more experienced eyes, I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is really great.
Yeah, I watched it with Lath, and he predicted it, but he kind of, like you're saying,
Yeah.
brought it to my attention that, they do kind of hide it a little bit.
Yeah, they
I mean,
yeah.
it's not like a big mystery that it's hard to figure out, but he was, he definitely a little bit of he's like, oh, I knew it. They were he's like he was all excited that they were the ex-presidents, and then he was like, oh, but they're friends. That's kind of a bummer. He was immediately bummed. So,
Yeah,
And he was like, well, what's going to happen now? Yeah. So,
Yeah, I did enjoy the exchanges between Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah. Those are all good.
you're not going to start chanting or something, are you?
Well,
I might.
Well, even at the end when they're at odds, Patrick Swayze has kidnapped the girl or whatever and is using her as leverage. And he's laying it out to Keanu about what needs to happen. And Keanu doesn't even think. He doesn't hesitate. Let's go. And Patrick Swayze just laughs. He said, that's what I love about you. You're sharp as a knife, man. Like, even
Right.
when they're at odds, I like those exchanges. Like, I thought Patrick Swayze's just laugh and reaction to Keanu Reeves not even hesitating. Let's go then.
Right.
I thought I dug that.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite Patrick Swayze performance.
Yeah.
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 Not my favorite Swayze movie, but favorite performance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's great in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big part of why I can't bring myself to watch the new one.
I don't know
Is 'cause
why,
I don't, and maybe I'm wrong. I could be way wrong. I don't even know who's playing them, but I feel like the Bodie in the new one's just not going to be able to hold
Well,
a candle to Patrick.
I don't know why.
And of course I love Keanu Reeves, so that's going to mess with me too.
Yeah. I have no idea why they remade it.
Well, they
Money,
remade it.
man.
They remade it as Fast and the Furious. So
Oh yeah, because Fast and Furious is the same story. I was
yeah.
gonna talk about
So
that.
Yeah,
why did
but
they
it's a
just
different-
remake it again?
It's the same
not
story
call it
as
Point
this.
Break?
Like,
yeah.
Same story.
Yeah.
The original Fast and Furious, same story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which
You've
that's-
seen the new Point Break?
No.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
I
Either.
have-
So
Well,
that's what I mean. Just like create a surfing movie, same plot.
Well, they're
call it
surface, but
something else.
they
But
they
they're
rob-
doing more extreme sports type stuff.
it's extreme sports, and then they rob. It's not just banks. It seemed like I don't know. I can't remember what crime they were
Yeah, me
committing. Anyway.
Immediately one of those remakes where I was like, and that's interesting to me too. Like some remakes I'm okay with, and certain ones you're not. You know,
Yeah, I don't.
that was one where I was like, nope.
Yeah.
yeah,
hard pass.
immediately. Immediately, no.
Yeah,
No. I will not watch it. All right. So, Money Critics fans, it did great. James, did you have this information, or do you want me to read it?
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm jumping right ahead. The budget was $24 million estimated. They say that's probably about right. $24 million total.
most
gross-
of that was hair. Like,
Yeah.
They had to CGI Patrick Swayze's hair on.
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Phil.
No. The budget was $24 million estimated. $43 million in the U.S. and worldwide $83 million total, which is pretty good return. So it was well received at the box office.
It is, but even in like the '90s, like there was movies grossing over 100.
Yeah.
So it's not astronomical returns.
Well-
like it's one of those that it had to have built a following on rental and cable and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I think it's become this classic. Like,
Yeah.
for the guy at the movie trader
To say that
to
to you,
say
yeah.
that as he was,
was very cool.
and this was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's 2022, right? So
yeah.
it has become a classic, and I think it is a classic of that type of action genre, for sure.
And it's interesting to me, like there's been certain movies where I've like had to force my kid to watch, and other ones he's interested in, but like to him, This was, I'm going to watch John Wick young. Like, that's where he's coming from, which is crazy to me. And I get it because he's 15, but I'm like, what? No, we're watching Keanu Reeves' son. This is well before John Wick, as cool as John Wick is. I love John Wick, but so it was interesting. But he was interested, and yeah, it was, we're like Speed. I don't think he's watched that one. And I'm like, what's the matter with you? You got to watch Speed too.
Okay, that's the one I like. And I
Speed.
just watched that again not long
Speed.
ago. I do too.
Anyhow, sorry.
But that's fine. As far as the critics, they were relatively kind. 70% gave it 3.5 stars or higher, and then audiences are a little kinder with 79%, which is, I'm sure, your hardcore action movie fans,
Yeah.
giving it 3.5 stars. So respectable scores there, I guess.
Yeah, it's a solid movie all the way, and it's been popular since the early '90s.
Yeah.
So it never really went away.
No, it has no. Right.
I'm curious to see how many. I'd have to look at it. Would have been good research, I guess. Like surfing movies, like how many surfing movies were made before this, how many after, that kind of thing. I hadn't thought about it. Still, I think there's not a lot of surfing movies out there.
No, I can't.
Like
Well,
there's
I
Blue
think-
Crush, and there's, especially action ones like
I
this.
think
don't
on
there
this,
is.
I think on this trivia, that was part of the writing process. Is they were like, "What are we going to have them do?"
Yeah.
I'm like, surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of debate about that. Of really surfing, but it's perfect for this movie.
I don't know if I was surprised. I guess I was a little surprised that a female directed this movie.
Yep.
And then I was even more surprised that it was Catherine Bigelow, who later, I think she won an Academy Award,
Yep. For Hurt Locker, right?
Hurt Locker, and she did some other movie. I thought I wrote it
Zero
down.
Dark Thirty was
Zero
her
Dark
too,
30.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Strange Days was her as well, and I like the movie. I think it's
Yeah,
an
I
underrated
forgot about
movie,
Strange.
but I like that one. Wasn't
So-
she married to Cameron at one
Yes.
point?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I was going to verify. Yeah, she was married to Cameron.
So I don't know. Obviously 90. I mean, not she 100% proved herself, but I wonder if he helped her get this gig. Maybe I'm Cameron. I'm a big action guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna let her direct this movie because she did a phenomenal job.
No,
Yeah,
very
in the 90s,
capable.
it had to have been a woman directing an action movie. People had to have turned heads.
Well,
at
even
that.
back, yeah, especially back then.
Yeah.
But then she would later go on to win an Academy Award. So,
Right.
Yeah, and those two movies, Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, are very good.
yeah.
I could only watch them once. They were pretty intense.
Yeah, I watched Hurt Locker. I haven't seen Zero Dark. I probably couldn't watch Hurt Locker again, no.
No, it's one and done.
Yeah.
Great movie. With that.
And I guess James Cameron was a producer on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Like, I think it is a classic. I think it largely holds up. And for those little cringe moments, we can get to them when we start talking. We talk about them when we get to them, whatever. For me, one of the cringe. Okay, so this is what it is,
You
but
watch your mouth, sir.
yeah,
Sorry.
no.
Just get ready. Just get
Keanu
ready.
Reeves is Johnny Utah,
Yeah.
Some
and
kid Johnny Unitas or something. The shit they
Right.
pull, huh?
Right. The shit they pull.
yeah,
Quarterback.
and so Johnny Utah, very
On the nose.
So you
on those gung ho, young, dumb, and full of name.
young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yeah.
So you don't like the name Johnny?
To me, it is straight up. To me, that's a cringe moment.
That's a Keanu Reeves. How many times has Keanu Reeves been named John?
Yeah,
Some
I know
variation.
Schwarzenegger's not a lot, but Johnny Mnemonic,
Yeah.
John Wick,
John
and
Wick.
then this one. There's probably one we're missing.
John.
What was he in? Well, he played not the devil, but it was about the.
Oh yeah, Devil's Advocate. No,
No.
John Constantine. You're right,
Yeah,
Constantine,
John
yeah.
Constantine.
Was he John Constantine in that? See, I
Yes.
was trying to remember Constantine, but I didn't know his name was John.
A lot of Johns.
That's interesting.
Anyway, yeah, Johnny Utah in this one.
I don't know. Like this can be interesting to see how 100% biased I am. I feel like I see what you're saying about the name, but Johnny Utah sounds like a quarterback name to me. Like when
It
I hear
does.
the name, I see the name on the back of a jersey, even though you never see that in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when they're playing football on the beach and he gets all serious and tackles Patrick and Roach gets all pissed off and gets in his face. Oh, Roach, don't you know who this is? No, I don't know who the fuck this is.
Yeah.
This is Johnny Utah. And
Yeah,
he explains
yeah.
it. Oh, Johnny fucking Utah. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to get in your face.
Right.
It's a complete turnaround. Like Roach is one of my favorite characters in the whole thing. But anyhow, so I like it as a quarterback name. But yeah, as a
And
again,
there's some
maybe it's a throwback to the 80s because there's so many Johns and
it's
like Schwarzenegger played a million Johns too. It's silly.
And you have so when you're writing a story, there are genre expectations, right? And so again, you have Utah and Pappas, right? Gary Busey's character.
It was great.
Yes, but it's very much the buddy cop
Yeah.
stereotypes, right?
Sure.
You got the old one, the young one. You know.
Do you think they offered anything fresh, or is it just more a rehash of stuff we'd seen, like their relationship?
I think, I don't think it was the same as say Lethal Weapon with
Riggs and
Riggs
Murtaugh.
and
What about-
Murtaugh, because Murtaugh was older and Pappas is older, but he acts closer to
Keanu's
Utah,
age? Yeah.
Keanu Reeves' character than Murtaugh sort of acts towards Riggs, right?
I saw more 48 Hours.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
that
yeah.
type of Gary Busey and Nick Nolte kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of, but it I don't think it had another parallel. Like if you were saying Lethal Weapon.
Well,
48
there is
Hours.
the requisite.
For an older cop and a younger cop?
Well,
Or
for this
older, younger
genre,
guy?
buddy cop, the requisite angry captain who screams every line.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, you showed me squat.
Yeah. I don't think he talks in a normal voice in the whole movie, except maybe.
That guy can't talk in normal voice, Phil. You know?
Right.
I mean, yeah.
So it did hit some of those cliches, which that's what you expect in that.
Yeah, you're supposed to be on their side, even though they're breaking the rule as people that,
But-
lawmen. But yeah, you're supposed to be against the captain. Fuck that guy.
You're
Was
right.
it-
When you are.
Was it cliche when this came out?
No.
Or this part the cliche.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you had you have to go back because 48 Hours was before their captain yelled. Lethal Weapon was before
Yeah.
their captain yelled. Yeah, Dirty Harry yelled. I mean,
Yeah, Yelder was always on their ass, and
it's
whatever.
interesting though. Is it a cliche or is it just a requirement, like you said?
It's a
gotta be
genre
part of it.
expectation,
Like I think things go. Yeah, there's expectations and then they become cliches after that, right?
right? And one of my favorite movies, So I Married an Axe Murderer, spins that cliche.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Was that good? Was that
It
good?
was- yeah, you're doing great. Not now. That's
good.
Well, then
absolutely.
And then it flipped it on its head in Last Action Hero when they go in the movie and the captain yells so hard the door breaks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that was the cartoon version of it.
Right.
And I guess
Right.
that's about when it died.
Probably. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
we should review Last Action Hero at
Oh,
some
I love
point.
that movie. I know Chris it's not a.
I'm gonna be sick.
What?
I'm gonna be sick that day. I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, like I said before, I'll review anything. Last Action Hero, Sleeping with the Enemy, Sound of Music, whatever it is.
Yeah, sure.
Here we go.
Blind date.
Blind date. Ooh, shots.
Still Magnolias. Is
Still makes noise. That's the one. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I actually like that movie. I think it's very good. Hits you right in the feels. It's bullshit, but it hits you right in the feels. So,
Sure.
but yeah, Last Action Hero. Steel Magnolias is a better movie than Last Action Hero. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah, you're gonna use that as a bumper.
I'll say it again. Steel Magnolias
Okay,
is
well-
a better movie. than
I
Last
edit
Action
these
Hero.
things, Chris. You can say what you want. It's never going to show.
That is the one. Never mind.
Anyway. All right, so I guess we can get into the breakdown here.
All right.
Any other thoughts or notes that we can go as?
I didn't make as many notes on this one, but I did watch it probably 7 times because
I think I watched it twice.
after we postponed
Postponed
for scheduling issues, I refreshed, so I watched it another 2 or 3 times.
That was my goal, and I didn't do that on either one of these movies. So I guess my saving grace is I've seen both of them several times. But
Yeah.
yeah, I always have these lofty goals and then don't follow through.
I watched it once, probably a month ago, and I don't remember.
Had you seen it before?
I saw it years and
Years
years
ago?
ago.
I was gonna ask you that a minute ago if you'd seen it before or not. Yeah, I guess all my notes are to get into it. Like I don't have anything prior.
Yeah.
You want to read the synopsis?
Oh yeah, I didn't get the.
I've got just the thing on IMDb. An FBI agent goes undercover to catch a gang of surfers who may be bank robbers.
Yeah.
That was nice and sweet, not like the other ones we've done.
It's true. Yeah, that was a very good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that got me when I first started watching this again, the first scene is Johnny Utah in the rain, contrast to I guess Patrick Swayze's silhouette riding waves.
Yes. These are their opening images. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, it was more than just the rain. It's him in this, black and white, strict, rigid
Right.
rule world. Right?
Right.
He's having to qualify or whatever he's
Yeah.
doing for FBI.
That's good. Yeah.
And then Patrick is free out there on the ocean.
I thought
It's the two
Yeah.
juxtaposition of their.
the first thing
Where
that
they're
you
at.
see Johnny Utah doing is unpacking a thing of bubble gum and throw it in his
Yeah.
mouth. And the line occurred to me of, I came to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm all out of bubble gum.
wonder
Yeah,
if
that's good.
that was before.
And
That
then
was
it-
like 87, I think. I wonder if that was
Yeah,
some sort
and
of
then he grabs
homage.
the shotgun and
Yeah.
scores whatever he 100%.
100% Utah. Yeah.
Thumbs up. It's like,
Well, those are excellent. What I wrote for these two setups, two masters of their craft are headed for a collision. So
Yeah,
Johnny Utah, they're both being shown as masters of what they're doing.
Yeah, okay.
Two
That's
trains,
even better.
and
yeah.
these two trains are going to
Yeah, because he got 100% and he's 100% on that surfboard.
Yeah,
yes.
right,
sure.
right. Yeah.
well, I was also thinking for character development part when I guess in the next scene when he's introduced to John C. McGinley, they're yapping and talking. Johnny Utah has been super successful his entire life. He was a college quarterback. He
Yeah.
went to law school. Like he's hitting on all cylinders. Is a perfect, Law and Order every time
Yeah.
type of guy. And he even say, "I take my skin off chicken breast, sir."
Yeah, yeah.
And then to stick it to him, he grabs a donut.
Right.
Right.
Love these things.
Yes.
So you already see like a little bitty hint of rebellion,
Sure.
even though he's scored
interesting.
100%.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is-
yeah, okay. No, that's good.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes, I hadn't thought about that because I don't want to say those were cringe moments, but it was. It's very much, I think I can't remember if it was a line. Well, I think what's her name? I can't remember his love interest.
Love interest.
Lori Petty, and she's Tyler in the movie.
Tyler, yes.
Tyler and
I think
Indica.
I'll probably say it when we get to it, but at some point she says, she leaves a conversation they're all having, and she says, just way too machismo here or whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
they're at the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, that's this.
I could do it.
That's this
No,
movie.
man, I could do it.
Yeah.
I said that's a good summary of this movie. Like, just full throttle on the macho.
Yeah.
That's I think the source of some of the cringe, but not a whole lot. I think largely it held up or whatever. So I think we agree on the opening image. The setup, day one in the FBI, number one at Quantico. You see, he was number one at Quantico.
Yeah.
To your point,
And
signed to the bank robbery division.
and Pappas is the one that reveals the quarterback stuff, right?
I think so. When he's blindfolded.
Yeah, because I don't think McGinley says anything about the quarterback stuff. It's all the law stuff, and then
Right.
Yeah, he just knows about number one at Quantico, and
give me some new parts, some quarterback, snot nosed kid or whatever it is. Yeah,
yeah.
quarterback punk. Yeah,
And immediately,
what the hell does retrieving bricks have to do with? Yeah,
yeah. Well, that his partner is immediately contrasted as old school. I'm in the field 22 years. He rubs against the new and modern. A little bit crazy is what I have. So he's not the straight up cliche of say Murtaugh, right?
Right. Would you? I know we talked about in another episode about half men, half man. Does that apply to him? Do you think to Pappas? Because he's been after the ex-presidents forever, and he's got the knowledge to show Utah that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
I think he's more of a mentor. I mean, you and I've talked about this before, where half man generally comes from the horror stuff, but you and I've pointed out half man in other movies.
Yeah.
I think to be a half man, you have to have survived. He would have had to have gone up against the ex-presidents and like almost died or something, and then like to be a half, because you're half man, you have some sort of scar that you're
Gotcha.
dealing with.
Yeah.
Where I think here he's just more of a mentor role, because the mentor has the, Obi-Wan has the tools and the knowledge to give Luke to make him a Jedi, right? So every mentor has those. I think he's just more of a mentor role as opposed
Okay.
to a half man.
Yeah.
Learning stuff every day.
I mean, could be dead wrong.
I don't know.
So still in the setup, we meet Utah, we meet Pappas, the robbers, the bank robbers, prior to knowing that, that they're Patrick Swayze's group, loud, fast, violent, professional, the ex-president. He's saying the best I've ever seen. Pappas is saying this about him.
Yep.
Snarky comments throughout, and then this setup of the guy who moons, the guy, he flashes his butt, and that is going to be a payoff
Right.
later down the line. And Pappas so he doesn't reveal this to Utah right away that he.
Yeah, the other guys do. Has he told you the?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Has he
So
told
he's
you?
mocked
Yeah,
for
the
this-
department loves it. Totally radical, dude. Yeah, just starts
Yes.
immediately messing with Pappas.
His theory is mocked, so he's reluctant, and Utah basically has to, drag it out of him through this.
Yeah, they have an argument or whatever. He gets
Argument,
him
yes.
mad. Yeah. Why don't you take some early retirement? Tell Nom stories.
Yeah, right. So I have the catalyst as Pappas sort of saying that the ex-presidents are surfers. That's his theory.
Yep.
Is that where you have the
Yeah,
sort of the call, the catalyst?
Yeah, because that's him agreeing or whatever. Yeah, because his breaking into Utah's breaking into is agreeing to do this, and you want me to learn to surf? This is for little rubber people or whatever. Yeah, like that's his. I'm an FBI agent. And surfing, really? Yeah. That's his breaking into for sure.
Yeah, he answers the call and buys a board, but there is a debate. How hard can it be? Papa
Right.
says Utah wipes out. He's saved by Tyler Endicott.
Yeah.
Tyler Ann Endicott, who will become essentially the B story, I think, leading him into who he wants to become. Like,
Oh, you think
Right.
she's the B story?
I think so.
I have Bodhi as the B story.
Well, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I could see that too, I guess.
Normally, B story and love story are the same person, but in this case, I think she's just the.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
have
definitely a bromance between him and Brody.
right. Yeah,
I don't think they knew what that was called back in the 90s, but
For sure.
these days we call it bromance.
Romance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because she teaches him to surf, and yes, I think he emulates Bodhi,
Yeah.
but and I guess at the end he does throw his badge away, but
Yeah,
he
and I
does.
think that's because of Bodhi, not because of Tyler. Like, I think he has a more of effect on his ideology and
Yeah.
the way he sees
Oh,
the world
absolutely.
than Tyler does.
Well, yeah, because he basically starts his relationship with Tyler
Under
just
a lie.
as an undercover
Yep.
guy trying to get in. So he lies to her about his parents dying. That strikes a chord with her.
Yeah, well, he researched and
He needs
found out
an
her parents
end.
died.
Yeah, he was looking for different stuff.
And
yet-
emotionally, manipulates her to help him surf
Yeah.
and get in.
And I sort of have that as my break into two. Pursues Tyler with a BS story about his own parents.
yeah.
Yeah, which, you were talking about things that kind of draw you out of the movie. This is supposed to take place over a summer.
I think so. It's the end of the surf season. They're about to do their last robbery, so they can.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the summer, yeah.
So
They-
Johnny Utah here is supposed to learn surfing, infiltrate a group, and find information all
Over-
before the
3 months or whatever.
all before the ex-president's jump.
Yeah,
That
because
sounds like
it's almost the end of the season, really. 'Cause
Yeah, that sounds like a tall order to learn how to surf well enough to pass as a surfer.
Well, maybe that's why he's Johnny Utah star
that's true.
quarterback.
That's
You know,
true.
he's got established a history of being
Excellent.
an athlete,
That makes
Sure,
sense.
yeah.
Maybe? I mean, because you're right.
Maybe,
I mean,
yeah,
that's-
you're right.
Anybody else does it, that you're not finding the
'Cause
ex-president.
I know a lot of
on your, when you try to surf. Yeah,
Right.
you're not doing all that. Yeah.
a lot of stories that I've seen, true crime stuff. It takes people years and years to infiltrate
Yeah.
organized crime.
Right. Well, there's even that run-in with the guy who was undercover drugs, and they
Yeah. You think I like this hair, man? You
Yeah.
think I like these
Yeah.
and he
poses?
talks about the months that he's been undercover.
And
3
that
months.
that was a
3 months.
yeah.
I love Tom Sizemore.
that bugged me too during that raid of the harp, that guy that John C. McGinley plays. He signed off on that raid.
Yeah, that to me was a little.
He would have known there was an undercover.
I would have.
there.
Yeah, he acts like this was totally rogue good thing. Yeah, I was a little perplexed by that myself.
We're getting way too ahead though. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just things that bugged me.
Well, and I thought it was interesting. Like, so he's BS and Tyler, and she says this is a line, right? And obviously acts sincere, but she suspects immediately that this is a line, and of course it really is. But it won't be till later that she finds that out. Yeah, so I have that as my break into
Yeah,
two.
this is breaking the two. Just a quick little note is interesting. Like when they're talking, and I guess it's after hours, right? When he's showing them when Pappas is trying to convince Utah that
In the
they're-
office, yeah.
in the office, and they're all the talking about the wax, and there's I become a wax expert. There's 1,000 different uses for this.
Yeah.
Utah's drinking a beer like at the job.
Yeah,
like, he's.
yeah.
I mean, I just thought that was interesting.
And then they jump up on the desk and
Yeah.
emulate. So at this point, yeah, it's like
That's
okay.
cringy for you. When
Yeah,
you jump up on the
yeah.
desk? Oh, I love it because they're going after surfers.
I know, but
and it shows them coming together too.
Yeah,
Not
yes.
100% biased, but it shows them. They were arguing now because I guess what I really like about it is if Pappas was younger,
Yeah.
there would be no need for Utah. He would have done this himself. But he's an old man; he can't do it.
Right. No,
I really like that. He didn't know he needed this quarterback punk to come along, but he did.
sure.
Because
No, I
to catch these guys. I mean, because he had other young guys. Like that's probably how the other shitheads or whatever, those FBI agents knew about it. They're younger. He probably said, "Hey, you want to help me out on this?" And they blew him off. Really,
Right.
you're fucking dumb, man.
sure. Plus, he's an old guy, and
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if they stick all the rookies with Pappas.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Because
you
we
know-
don't know what happened to.
It's true. Maybe that's spectrum. Remember when those younger guys, like he pitched them this thing when they were a rookie, and they were
Exactly.
just
Now they
biding the
got
time
new
to get out of
partners and
there.
moved
Yeah,
up. Yeah. Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, So Lethal Weapon came out, way before this, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 87 and
Yeah.
89. They'd done 2 of them by this point. Yeah.
And so Lethal Weapon had these fun moments, but it also, I think, became dark and dramatic also.
Yeah.
When this movie tried to get dark and dramatic or whatever, I guess I just wasn't
Okay.
feeling it like I did for like Lethal Weapon or whatever,
Interesting. Okay.
It seems a little more designed to be a fun action movie than something like Lethal Weapon, which
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying. I definitely see
Yeah.
that.
I think Lethal Weapon maybe was more nuanced in
Yeah.
terms of action drama.
Sure.
Because when Riggs is, I still tear up when I watch Riggs holding that picture and he's
Yeah.
about to put a gun in his mouth and, I'll see
that's
you
part of
later,
this.
much later or whatever.
Yeah, very much later. Yeah, no, I love that one. Yeah, that's part of I think early on that setup with him. So they established that tone
Yes.
early on.
Yes. And him talking about, being a sniper, only one or two, 2 or 3 guys in the whole world could
It's
make
the
that.
only thing I was ever good at.
Yeah. So I think there's more, and I can't remember who the writer of this was, but obviously Shane Black is an exceptional writer, but I think there's much more nuance
This one's
in,
Rich King and Peter Iliff.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Peter Iliff did Varsity Blues, I think.
Yeah, he did Varsity Blues. He did Tales from the Crypt. Patriot Games.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, Patriot Game. He's written a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's I'm not faulting this movie for that. I think it went more for the adrenaline, high octane type of action movie as opposed, because Lethal Weapon has those moments, but there's also very somber and low key dialogue moments.
Yeah.
I don't think Lethal Weapon keeps the energy pace that this one.
This one does. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like James said, I agree with that. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Fun and games, convincing Tyler, getting lessons, wiping out, bonding with Tyler, I guess, and then seeing Bodie, searching for the ultimate ride, playing football. I appreciated, I laughed when Swayze said, that's a surfboard, looks like a 57 Chevy I used to have.
Right.
So there's very much this, he doesn't know what he's doing. And
Yeah, he bought a cheap piece of shit apparently.
yeah.
Well, because he even says it at one point, why do I have to learn to surf? Why can't I just walk around with this thing on my arm and act stoned?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to put all this effort into it. Wants to catch the guys. But yeah, again, I think they both, to your point, they both underestimated how hard it would be,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have the obligatory angry captain. I guess his name is Carp. Not fond of their plan. Caught my first tube,
Yeah.
Uh, the investigation, hair sample, it will bug the shit out of Carp. So, very much us versus them, the 2 buddy cops.
I don't know. There's little moments, even the hair samples when they're going around collecting,
Yeah.
making a wig for my girlfriend. And then when Keanu Reeves puts on he naturally talks, like a surfer stoner dude
Yeah.
already and everything he's in, but he like amps it up a notch. Hey, bro, don't move. There's this huge sucker about to crawl
Yeah.
right in your
Yeah.
ear. I love the guy's reaction because he gets it and he's, leave some fucking hair, man.
Yeah.
Like, just-
Well, I saved your life,
me
bro.
laugh.
Close one.
that's
and
right. Saved your life, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. I immediately wrote, he's channeling Bill and Ted.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son got a kick out of how many times he said definitely. Like when he's looking
Right.
through the stuff for Tyler to use.
Yeah.
He's reading no, then he finds the stuff about her parents. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You want to go after him and be a big hero, right? Definitely.
See, and this is
That's a lot. It's funny.
like you look at Keanu now, and he's like everybody loves Keanu. He's got gravitas. He's almost like this Jedi actor.
He's a monk. Like
He's a
Buddhist.
monk.
you don't hear anything personally. You don't hear anything bad about him. Like you hear
Right.
all this amazing,
Yeah.
nice stuff about that he does for.
Well, there was a
Because he leaves no bodies and no witnesses.
well,
Bro, you tell anybody about this?
like he was on
a
the
nice story about me. Yeah.
yeah. Well, he was on the Tonight Show, and I think Fallon asked him, "What do you think happens when we die, or whatever?" And there was this long pause, right? This is like a clip or a meme. There was this long pause, and you could see Keanu thinking, and he comes out with this this just jaw-dropping answer. He says, I think that the people that love us will miss us, not, well, I think we go to heaven. I think we go,
right,
right. And you're just like, Keanu, right. But that's who he is. Like here, he's like, bro, and
Sure.
And anyway, so I think as he's gotten older, he's gotten
more zen.
Zen. I don't think Johnny Utah is
not
very
to
zen.
go too deep into it, but Keanu Reeves has had a hell of a hard life.
Has he really?
With his
Yeah.
wife. Yeah, the
So,
first wife.
Because
He lost his wife and child.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Car
that.
accident. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the like I see him with his wife now.
Is he married?
Yeah, she's older. I think.
Yeah,
thought
because
he was
I
married.
always
He's
think,
older.
well,
He's
Keanu-
older too.
No, I know, but I mean, there's an older lady than he is.
Yeah, no, I always
people make
think,
a deal
well,
about that, but I'm just saying.
Keanu Reeves, he must have like this just really hot wife.
Yeah.
And not that she's ugly,
No,
but
I'm
but,
here. She
but they
seems-
look very much like a couple that might live next door to you, right?
Yep.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
Very
Yeah, that's what I
attractive
meant,
older
yeah.
couple.
Yes, yeah,
Normal people.
And I think that's part of his grounding, right? He's not like this.
I mean, he still rides the subway and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Like,
sits on
he's-
a park bench to eat his lunch. I mean, there's memes of that. Like, yeah, what other celebrity does that?
You're right.
you know?
He's not like, like this shallow.
None of this fame has gone to his head.
No.
No money. I mean, he gave all his Matrix money away. I think so.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Damn,
So just
It's mostly the crew, I think.
yep.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just,
And
I just need a little bit of stuff,
Yeah,
To eat, clothes, my motorcycle, and that's whatever
so,
else he's got going on.
talking about Keanu, like I think he really, because watching this, bro, and definitely and all these, you think, oh, this guy,
Right.
so vapid, but he's good looking, and so he'll sell tickets. But he's like not even preparing for John Wick. Like you've seen those videos where he's on the range training
Yep.
to do those scenes, and he didn't leave it to a stuntman or a body double to do those shoot scenes.
Or
He
even
ha-
the fights and stuff in John Wick.
Right.
That's him.
when he's
99%
going
of
through
it.
that course
Yep.
in preparing for Wick, it's absolutely like he is totally invested. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like you're watching Keanu Reeves in real life, but it's like you're watching a clip of John Wick
Yeah,
training
yeah.
or something. It's just as
Yeah.
good. I mean, it's nuts. Yeah, how it's dedication to his craft. Yep.
Yes.
It's up there with Tom Cruise to me as far as wanting to do their stunts and wanting. I'm going to do all the extra step, not just going to read my lines. I'm going to do all this extra stuff to entertain the audience.
Yes. Yes. There are very few people in Hollywood that I would ever want to meet or talk to. I think Costner is one. I think I would love to talk story with Costner. And even Stallone, I think, would be a very good conversation.
Yep.
And Keanu Reeves, just to sit down with him. But pretty much those are like the three or four. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
most of these people I never want to meet. You don't want to meet your heroes, right? I mean, you're going to be disappointed.
Well, I want to meet Tom Selleck.
I don't think I would be
Tom
disappointed with.
Selleck.
I want
Well,
to meet
sure.
Tom
I think
Selleck.
Tom Selleck would be a quality.
I've named 2 cats after his
Yeah,
characters.
nice.
So
Aw.
Well, but I think those would be worthwhile meets, right?
Agreed,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think I would be disappointed. But most of these people, I don't ever want to.
No.
No.
Yep.
No.
Bonding with Bodhi, the spiritual surfer, tracking the Death Squad. This is the false lead. I'm still including this in fun and
So they got the sand out of that one guy's hair, tracked it to a certain beach,
Latigo Beach.
and so they're gonna go.
Yeah, because they're always
check
closing
it
the
out.
beaches for spills and stuff. So that's how they figured it out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tracked to a certain beach, and so they know, all right, the ex-presidents have to surf on this beach.
Right. And then, the fight scene.
Surf this break. Sorry.
These Nazi surfers, these bad surfer,
Right.
territorial, which I think one of them is from Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
yeah.
Anthony
Anthony
Kiedis.
Kiedis.
Yeah, he's the lead singer. Yeah.
Yep.
It's even that I like that how that fight scene goes where he's like, he's in there washing the
Yeah.
salt off or whatever, and they turn it off, and he's like, okay, I get it. This is where you guys tell me
Right.
to stay off your break, well, whatever he says, and then I think it's Anthony Kiedis that says that would be a waste of time. And the other guy says, we're just gonna fuck you up.
Right,
So
right.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
He does his own. I'm just 4 big dudes. I
Right,
think
and then,
like he
yeah.
holds his own best he can.
Bodhi comes along, right?
I like how Pappas tries to run over and help him out.
Yeah, no, I thought that was very.
Because he goes behind some bushes at
Yeah.
the shower, he can't see him. He's like, "Hey, Johnny, you better not be picking up chicks or something." And then he sees Anthony Kiedis like roll out into the, oh shit, there's a fight. He
Yeah.
tries to run over there.
You
and-
see a kid with a radio? Yeah, I thought
yeah,
it
he
was
has
very.
to, because Bodhi shows up and Pappas has to then put on a cover.
Yeah.
he can't give
I thought
blow
that was
Johnny's
really-
cover.
That was good thinking on his feet
Oh, for
too.
sure,
Run,
yeah.
run, run. You seen a kid with a stereo?
Yeah.
No, but there's 4 guys back there need attention.
Yeah, and I like Bodhi's response to that. He starts laughing and says, "You just like to start shit, don't you?"
Yeah, no,
'Cause he has no idea that Johnny's a cop. So
Right.
it's funny.
right.
It's not all that important things. Interesting. The War Child, the kind of the, I don't know if he's the leader of their gang or not, but the bigger black guy. He played a bad guy in Cyborg. I always remember him from that with a Van Damme movie, B movie. But yeah, just I don't know. Like saw both those movies, and then it took me like a long time to realize, holy shit, that's that same guy.
Yeah, he was in Double Dragon back in '94 as well. Yeah, I pulled up.
And they gave him contacts in Cyborg, so he had like blue eyes. So like him being a darker complexion with the pale eyes just made him way scarier to me when I was a kid. You know,
his name's Vincent Klin.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Born in New Zealand, so he's
Yeah. The party at Bodie's with the 50-year storm set up. And then I guess this is when Tyler makes the line, too much testosterone here.
Yeah, because they're talking about the biggest wave ever ridden.
Twice a century or whatever, and too much testosterone here. I thought a summation of this movie.
I really like that. Yeah. I think it's Gromit when he said they're talking about it. He's like, you can't just call it quits and paddle in. And he's talking about being on the board. He's like, and your balls, man, your balls.
Yeah.
He talks about it because Roach says it's better than sex, and Tyler immediately goes, it's because you're doing it wrong. You know?
Right.
But
the night surf getting deeper in the group and with Tyler.
I don't know. When you mentioned cringy moment, I guess this is what entered my mind, but it's a different kind of cringe. It's not the dialogue or performance or anything. It's the, and I'm sure it was safety reasons, but the night surf, like you can tell that was shot with a filter. Like that's not.
Oh yeah,
nighttime.
yeah.
Like the stuff on the beach with the fire is night, but when they're out in the ocean, you can tell it's day.
Yes.
I think you can even see the sun at one point. You know,
Yeah,
like
they use some kind of filter.
Got a blue filter, and I'm sure it had to be safety, right? Surfing at night and
yeah.
all that. But anyhow. I don't know. It annoys me because I think they probably got better ways of doing that now.
Probably, yeah.
I think the movie Deliverance has a lot of the same stuff. I think that's one of the first times I realized that was a thing. Was, okay, they didn't shoot everything at night. They just put a filter on it and make it look like it.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a question here. Let's see.
Definitely. Sorry.
Definitely.
Okay, so... All right. So they think it's the Death Squad initially.
Yes.
And so at this point, I'm like, if they think it's the Death Squad, is the bank robbery ring, why is he making efforts with Bodie and his group? Why is he hooking up with Tyler? He's being seduced by this lifestyle and has his own demons, or the kamikaze look, experiencing the best feeling on earth. So I guess he's with Bodie, or he's with Tyler to get an in, but then they think it's this other...
Correct.
Group.
He just thought he found a cool group of surfing.
Yeah, he started becoming
like-minded
friends with
friends.
So at this point, he's just trying to get into the surfing culture.
Yeah, I think it's more than that at this point. I think he came up with the lie, bought the cheap piece of shit surfboard and all that, and just tried to do what he had to do. But now he's like, he really likes surfing because he blew out his knee, right? So it's someone who's an athlete is going to feel bad about not being able to do that sport anymore. So I think he's now found a sport. So far, surfing doesn't appear to hurt his knee, right? And they don't explain all that, but I just think I think he's enjoying it and meeting these cool people, and this guy's starting to have a profound effect on his, his ideology and his just his views of life and everything. And just, so I think, at this point, it never enters his mind that they might be the guys. And I think it's important for the audience, like you were talking about earlier, they hide it.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to like Patrick too, and all them. We're not supposed to realize that they could even be the guys.
Yeah, I get you.
know?
Right. Yes, and so some of that, because Tyler...
He's falling in love with her, right? So, I mean...
Yeah, they're sitting on the boards floating in the water at night, and she says that intense scowl is gone. Like, so I guess a visual of the transformation that he is now.
Yeah. Yeah, because she becomes, sometimes you look like you're...
The kamikaze look.
Yeah, that and you're like you're trying to do all this for a school project or something. Talking about his concentration and...
Yeah, and then now it's gone or whatever. A reference to his own demons. I don't know that do we ever truly find out except for the knee blown out? I mean, is there any other dark past or anything that's driving?
I thought those were Bodie's demons. No? Bodie has his own demons? No, Johnny has his own demons, doesn't he, Johnny? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I
don't think they're ever expressly explained.
Bodie at one point, because I didn't nail down a theme necessarily, but Bodie at one point seems to think that they're doing what they're doing as examples to the rest of those poor schmucks who
inching along the freeways and they're still
middle,
coffins.
Yes,
I love that speech.
Yeah.
We're a proof to them the human spirit is still alive.
Right. Right. And
where I don't think all the other guys ever bought into it like that.
Well,
he just thought it was fun and
the thrill. But Bodie is much more grounded in the the spiritual realm of.
Yeah, this is about us against the system. Yeah.
Yes. Now, that being said, Bodhi at the end is very adaptable at setting that aside and doing some pretty unspiritual things, right? Like he's with the kidnapping of Tyler, he knows.
Well, he deflected it. I didn't do it. Roach did it, or not Roach, but
He's like a mechanism.
yeah,
Rosie.
Rosie.
He's a mechanism, man.
Yeah. And once you set him in motion, he will not stop.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first time
I could never do that. She was my woman. We shared time. Yeah, like he deflected all of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
First time we see Rosie, he's lighting the fire on the beach, and he's doing it like a psycho.
Yeah.
Is it-
Blade noticed that. He's going to catch himself on fire. Yeah.
He's opening it with a knife. He's
Spilling it
spitting
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I didn't recognize.
You can see
This
Rosie
dude can't
was
even
off.
surf. Like he's not even having fun,
Yeah,
like,
he's-
Yeah.
He looks like the heavy in the group. He can't surf.
Right.
He's just around for bodyguards.
Yeah.
Back up a little bit. That reminds me of the when they first meet him with the football on the beach, and they realize, don't you know who this is or whatever?
Yeah.
He, there's a kind of a throwaway line as they're walking away. I don't know if it's Roach or one other guy says, "Lawyers don't surf," and Patrick Swayze goes, "This one does."
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the comment to wearing a suit, like, well, life's not, you became a lawyer after football? Really? Like he's almost disappointed and disgusted. Well, life's not over. You're surfing, Like the idea of putting on a suit in a 9-to-5 job is death to these guys.
Yeah. No. It's yeah. I thought it was funny earlier on when he's buying the surfboard, the young kid that sells it to him.
Yeah. Life's not over. Yeah.
Yeah. Because how old is Utah State?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's
30
20,
or something, right? Or
He was 26,
20 something. Okay.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not. He says some line
Never
like
too late.
Yeah. Well, so it's never too late. Yeah.
26. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's never too late. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The kid he was playing was 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name on here. That's the actor's name is Christopher Pettit. He was in Don't Tell Mom.
The Babysitter's Dead.
Babysitter's
Yeah.
Dead. He
You ever seen the
died.
movie, Phil? Mom, the Babysitter's Dead?
I don't think so.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if it holds up. I haven't seen it in a long time, but
It's something.
It's
We
something.
we
Yeah.
bought
That's
it.
a surfboard.
yeah.
We bought it not too long ago. My girlfriend and I. We bought it at I call it Half Price Movies, but it's Movie Trading Company.
Yeah. That's where we got this. Yeah.
Nice.
Because I'm a Half Price Books, Half Price Movies. So they
I
just
just remember the stoner brother or whatever, like he's the rebel, like the sister
Yeah.
wants him to do the dishes, and he's taking them out there and tossing them up and shooting them with a shotgun. He's like, "I'm doing the dishes."
Oh.
Like, it's
dishes are
just-
done, man.
Yeah, cracks me up. Anyhow,
Oh man.
Around the same time. That was in '91 as well. So
Yeah.
we got.
And you
off
said that kid is dead?
Oh yeah, he died of a overdose.
yeah, Stace looked it up. That's Stacy's thing. Like we're watching a movie, she recognizes somebody. If she can't figure it out, she wants to look it
Yeah,
up,
sure,
and then
yeah.
she like reads their whole biography.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it drives
Yeah.
me crazy when I can't figure out where
Yeah.
I've seen that person
Stacy's
before.
pretty good. She's really good at someone has an accent, like in real life, and they're doing an American accent or another
Yeah.
accent. She can something about the way they form their mouth. I guess because she sees mouths all day with her profession. I don't know. She can nail it every time.
Oh
Like,
wow.
like even if they're really good at it, like she's like, I bet you they're not American or they're
Oh,
not
I
this.
got
And
you.
she looks it up. I'm like, how did you know that? She's like, it's just they form their words weird when they're trying to do an
Oh,
accent.
cool.
That's wild.
Well, and what's the girl in this movie?
Tyler.
Tyler?
Lori Petty.
See, every time I was watching her in this movie, all I could think of was A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think
That's
those
all
are
I
two
could-
like biggest roles, yeah. And she was really good in that.
Yeah, and that's all I could see her as.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I see her in
Tank Girl.
in the Tank Girl and in the Army now.
Oh, shit,
I am
forgot
a
if didn't think
huge-
I
I
was in
saw
the
Tank
Army
Girl a
show.
long time ago.
Huge
Forgot about
Pauly
the
Shore
Army now.
fan.
Oh my
She's
god.
great in
Oh,
that.
Polly Shore. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I love Pauly Shore.
Okay. Ooh, all right.
I've got great taste.
That's the surfboard. Hooks up and is late for the raid, and then the raid is the end.
Yeah,
Is
his
the end
own raid. He was late for his own
yeah, well,
raid.
yeah.
And I
Even
think that
after-
shows because he's the strict rules guy, 100% Utah, right?
Yeah.
He's getting in so deep with the surfing vibe and like he fell asleep on the beach after being with Tyler or whatever, right? Like he's I think it's starting his world, his black and white world is starting to gray, right?
Yes.
It's all this is spilling over. Yeah, he's late to his own raid because of his spending time with his friends or whatever and this girl.
Yes.
Because he was, oh shit, I'm really late, says it like 1,000 times, and he makes sure he kisses her again before he leaves.
Right. Right.
That's the one time I like those other FBI guys because they're giving him a hard time about being late to his own fucking raid. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, these guys are douchebags the whole movie, but they're right here. Like, what
Oh,
a
yeah.
dick.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
That and the haircuts. The one guy's flat top's like 3 inches tall. And,
So I have a midpoint false defeat at 58 minutes.
Yeah, because it's not them. Yep.
Yeah, the wrong guys are busted.
Wrong guys.
And
Think I
the
like this
undercover
hair,
operator.
man.
People are dead because of it.
Yeah.
Bad guys close in. Utah recognizes the naked butt. Looks like you saw a ghost. Nope, it was just a white butt, I wrote.
Yeah. One thing I've never noticed, I've seen this a million times, and I guess this is my one cringy moment. There's some really bad editing on this one scene to me. So I get it. Like you said, the whole reveal is the guy moons on the surfboard, and that has the light bulb moment for Johnny.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as they show the guy mooning, the very next shot is Patrick Swayze going, yeah, and I'm like, he's way too excited about that man's ass, about that man's bare ass.
Oh,
and I know that's not the way they meant it, but the two guy moons, and then you show Patrick Swayze super excited about it. Like, it's horrible editing. Horrible editing.
Oh, I'm not sure I
There's
picked up on that one.
he's got, he dated Tyler. He's got the new girlfriend. He's clearly,
Sure.
you're not gay in this movie, but like those two together, I was like, really?
That's fine.
Like, and I don't think it came off that way. I think he was just excited because his buddy's having fun, but
yeah, right.
he's got his fist in the air yelling like it's. I was like,
not pick
no,
up
why
on
did we cut it that way? That's terrible. Pointed out the lathe and he laughed, but
Now,
anyhow.
I don't know if y'all picked up on this. There is a mention of a particular eating establishment.
Yeah. The wife,
Patrick's Roadhouse.
Patrick's Roadhouse.
Did you
Wife
pick up
loves
on
it.
Oh yeah.
Wife loves it. He goes here, he goes there, goes to buy some CDs, goes to Patrick's Roadhouse. Yeah,
Yes.
it's good
And
stuff.
so I wanted to know if this was a reference.
It's gotta be.
Well,
It is.
Yeah.
Point Break came out in 91. Roadhouse came out in 89.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely 100%
Yes.
a reference. Okay.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. The robbers are fixing the bolt.
And I wonder if, was that in the script or did, Keanu just say it? Like, I wonder when it.
I don't know. I don't know. I thought that was.
So he was following Bodie around, and he did all those things. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
sorry.
saying?
Yeah, just to be clear. Yeah, following Bodie around. Because once you realized with the being really
Yes.
excited about naked butts that, these guys are ex-presidents.
These are heavily suspected to be.
Be ex-presidents.
Yeah, and they're fixing. They figure it's the end of the season, so they may have one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're almost a ticking clock. Kind of.
Well, my favorite part is when they're doing the stakeout, and Pappas is talking about those meatball subs.
yes, I had some issues with this scene.
Oh God, man!
It made me one of those sandwiches that goes on about it so much.
I order a meatball sub. Like
Yeah.
I've ordered meatball subs. I've watched this movie 7 times. I've ordered them 3 times. Watching these movies because I'm like,
he goes on about how amazing they
Yeah,
are.
so-
Like, I want one from that place. Utah, give me 2. I mean, he didn't just want sandwich. He wants 2 fucking
no.
sandwiches.
I like that part, except they're on a stakeout,
oh,
and Utah
for sure. Yeah,
Utah startles Pappas. Like Pappas is on the stage, he's reading the paper, and then Utah comes up to the car and startles Pappas. Like when you.
Yeah,
you're on
all
stage.
right.
You ought to be keeping an eye, and
Damn
then he
you, Phil.
misses the.
Damn you
Yeah,
convinced me now.
Pappas
You're
is-
right. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're on a stakeout, you're about to catch the bad guys. It's like too much fun and games.
Yes, it's too much
Yeah.
machismo, too much
Yeah.
of the buddy.
yeah, exactly.
I'm so hungry I could eat the dead ass out of a rhino.
Yeah, right. We're here to make cool lines, not watch this bank, son.
That's right. Do you see that car pull up? What car?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on. Anyway,
Those sandwiches are clearly his weakness. Okay.
yes.
Got
Like-
2 of them.
In hindsight, like next time these guys are on a stakeout, he's like, I'm not buying you those sandwiches, man, because what happened, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Utah would have learned his lesson. Like, you can't have the sandwiches.
Well,
while
did
you're
they
on a
say it was
stakeout.
like 10:30 in the morning?
Yeah,
After
yeah.
lunch.
Yeah. Well.
There's a little shop around the corner. It's
Two.
love Gary if you've seen this movie.
No, I this was because didn't he have like an accident and got brain damage or something later?
I thought it was
Yes, a
before.
motorcycle.
But that was when he was younger, right? Or is it later?
I thought it was later. Was
Gary
it,
Busey?
Yeah.
Gary
I thought it was
Busey?
younger. I thought he had it before.
Oh, did he?
I may be wrong. I know, yes, he had some sort of motorcycle accident that really messed him up, but I thought it was before. But you're,
Because he was in Lethal Weapon as Mr. Ice or whatever, wasn't he?
yeah, the bad guy. Yeah,
Bad
the
guy,
first one, yeah.
Uh,
Mr. Joshua.
Mr. Joshua, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I know he doesn't look well later, so maybe it was later.
I
but
think I have a
I
feeling
know
it
his
was
teeth
later.
got like knocked out at one point because that's why they're like all caps and white.
Yeah.
But I thought he had the accident when he was younger.
Yeah.
But
I did too. I
I may be wrong.
I can't find it on here, but I think so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I will I'll put it in the notes later if we can find it. And then the pursuit. So this is the bad guys close it. All is lost. They bust up the robbery, but Utah is too close to Bodie and lets him go. Bodie's
Well, I think at one point before that, it goes both ways. I want to say it's because Utah is handing the sandwiches off or whatever, right? He's
Yeah.
still on his feet, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Because he asked, "Do you see that car pull up? What car, dumbass?" Anyhow, he runs over there on foot
Yeah. Okay.
as they're coming out, and one of the guys goes, "I got him," and he starts to zero in on Johnny, and Bodie waves him off.
Right.
Yeah.
So he saves Keanu's life theoretically there, and then
Yeah.
he ends up. I think that's part of the reason why he couldn't shoot him later too.
Okay.
Why Keanu couldn't shoot Bodie. Sorry, sure you can say something?
Well, I was just I found in 1988, Gary suffered a terrible accident.
And this came out in 91?
Well, that's right after Lethal Weapon. So it's not, I was thinking younger. So yeah, so in between the two. But
He crashed while riding his Harley Davidson motorcycle without a helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he seems okay
Streets
in
of
this
LA.
movie, but like I wouldn't have pegged him as having, unless it became something that happened. You know, he had the brain injury and it affected him later. It's sort of like,
yeah, because like I said, if you've seen one Dance with the Stars or Celebrity Apprentice, like later, there's a big difference.
Yeah, it says it led to severe brain damage.
Yeah, he released a book called Buseyisms.
yeah,
Oh
with
yeah.
all his crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't like to say crazy. His unique take on
eccentricities.
Well,
Yeah.
I watched him on The Apprentice, and he would do those
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah. Anyway,
He's a wild guy.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Bless his heart. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. The Pursuit.
Oh, that's when he. This is after he's chasing him.
Yeah. What were you saying, Chris?
Oh,
Why-
I was just saying that talking about how they spare Johnny or whatever, or Bodie spares Johnny.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's going up to him, and the one guy, I think he's one of the back. He's getting in the back of the car. He goes, "I got him," and he's zeroing in with his gun over the car,
Yeah.
over the roof, and then Bodie waves him off, and
Okay.
they all get in the car and they drive off.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I know that happens somewhere in there. I think that's because then they're in the car, and then it's just Bodie and him on foot later on.
Yeah, because they go to the gas station. Pull in the gas station to
Burn the
drop
car.
the
Right, and burn the car,
Yeah.
and
Okay. All right.
there's again one of those like there's so many like little lines of dialogue that like you don't even see the actors say it in this movie that I really like. At one point there when they're in the car chase and they're smashing up against each other,
Yeah.
I think it's Pappas goes, "We got you," and I don't remember if it's Roach or one of the other guys. I think it's Roach. He goes, "You ain't got shit,"
Yeah.
and then they separate. Like it just I don't know. Like was that in the script? Was that ad-libbed? I love it.
Yeah.
Because he's right. You don't have shit. Like you're you're just smashing against them. These guys have not stopped. Like I love it. You ain't got shit. I love that guy. Anyhow. But yeah, then even this car chase, like as far as we're talking about Catherine Bigelow, and like I think this car chase is up there, and maybe this is part of why it's such a classic. But this car chase, the way it was shot and everything, is like really impressive. Like it's one of my favorite car chases in movies.
Yeah.
I just think it's really well done. Even the foot chase, even though it gets silly with the dog at times. I guess that's the other cringe moment for
we
me.
threw the dog at him.
Yeah, and then he kicks him, which I guess if dogs throwing at me, I'm probably doing the same, and I love dogs, but like maybe at least throwing him off. I don't know that I'm going to kick him too, but they have to throw in the yelp of the dog. It's like, come on.
Yeah. The chase through the houses and stuff reminded me of
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Yeah, how silly it is. Yeah,
yeah. Well, yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. But even then, like he's running, he closes the door and he just crashes through the door,
Well,
and yeah, it's
Sherry asked because there's a scene in Hot Fuzz where they're jumping over fences and was that an homage to this? And,
Yeah,
and some
maybe.
of it is,
that or Ferris Bueller, like
yeah. But like in Hot Fuzz, what's his name is jumping over fences.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, and then in this one, Utah is
Oh yeah, Hot Fuzz.
Well, they
have the other
refer to
reference.
it already.
Hot Fuzz
Yeah,
is
so I
a
would think it would
heavy
be, yeah.
nod.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would be. Yeah.
yeah.
And then he hurts his knee and fires his gun into the air whilst saying "ah."
Right.
You don't
And-
like that scene, James?
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
I just when
In
I
Hot
see
Fuzz,
it, I think of Nick Frost and Hot Fuzz.
my
He
God.
goes,
Yeah,
"Oh."
no, absolutely. And then back to So I Married an Axe Murder. There's even some play with that with the detective saying, that part that hangs from the helicopter. I want to hang from that or something. Doesn't he in
Yeah.
Axe Murder?
He wants an exciting life.
Yeah, and then you're supposed to be the angry chief. Answers to the captain or whatever. And I answer to a panel of So there's all this
Board of Trustees.
board of trustees. And it's like
Subverting expectations. in
right.
Axe Murder, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think anyway. Bodie's justifying himself here. There's a scene where he justifies all his actions. I can't remember exactly.
Well, after the robbery, they now know that each other know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
the
Bodhi
guys
comes
are
to
losing
get
their
him.
shit. This guy's a fucking cop, man.
Yeah.
You should have let me take him and all that stuff. And I know exactly what to do with this guy. This is when he makes a speech
Yes.
about us versus the system.
Right. Okay. All right.
Because at the end of that, he's like, I know exactly what to do with this guy.
Yes. I have Dark Knight. So I have Olive lost as a false victory. They bust up the robbery, but Utah is too close to Bodhi and lets him go. So it's sort of a victory because they bust up the robbery, but they do get away.
The midpoint was taking down the death squad is a false
Yes.
victory.
False defeat.
Sorry, false defeat.
Undercover operation, busted, wrong guys. All is lost, false victory. They do bust up this robbery.
But it's his friends and he couldn't catch them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, Dark Knight of the Soul. Tyler discovers, this is what I have. Tyler discovers Utah's lies. They break up. Bodhi takes Utah for a ride and has taken Tyler. So this is like the lowest.
Andy's hurt his knee. during
Andy's
the
hurt his
chase.
knee.
Yeah.
So this is break into three. They're in the van, and this is the exchange I like between Bodhi and Utah.
Before that, though, I like the when they're talking about we're going to go skydiving or whatever, and he's like, I don't know if you noticed, man, but I sort of busted up my knee the other day. Yeah, I noticed you limping, and just the way he says it in the line, and just don't worry, bro, don't worry about it, bro. We're not going to land on land.
Yeah, no.
You're very assuring, wonderful.
I think
Wonderful.
I think at that point right there, when they're in the van and they're talking, you've lost, man, blah 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 blah, the whole thing. Would Johnny Utah have joined Bodhi had he not gone to law school? Like, would he be on board of the surfing, the robbing, the traveling all over the world? I think that's what Johnny Utah is wrestling with. Am I wrong on that?
I think there's an untapped wildness. The kamikaze,
yeah, but I think,
but I don't know how like Law and Order he is.
Yeah.
He seems very.
I think he was very
rules.
drawn to that side of life.
I think he was, but I don't think because like at the end, because he doesn't. I guess the fact that he doesn't turn with him, right, is what's holding him back. Like his morals and all that. Because even at the end, like he's then mad at Bodhi. You crossed the line and people died. I mean, like he's
and chases them all over the world.
Yeah,
Like I was 3 weeks behind you and a week behind you, and
but it's interesting because he's still law and order, and there's got to be consequences for your actions, but he's not so law and order that he doesn't throw his badge at the end. We're getting ahead, but he still quits, stops being a law guy.
yeah.
And I do think I was going to say this earlier, and this kind of ties into that, like his line to Tyler about my whole life I've done everything for other people. I don't think he's lying there.
Yeah.
I think that he was a quarterback. He went to law, to not a lawyer, but became a cop because of his parents.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of that, but I feel like that's true.
Yeah.
No, I think
Because he becomes his own person by the end of the movie.
yes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. If he would have met Bodhi
maybe
2-3 years ago,
Yeah, maybe.
got into surfing, he would have maybe been robbing banks.
He would have been a slow boil, like because he would have had to have gotten into it by slow degree.
Yeah.
There's no way he's just saying, "Oh, you rob banks, cool." No, but
Sure.
it would have been. I think at some point he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea of being free, like, appeals to him, right? Like the skydiving and, it's amazing, fucking amazing. Like but yeah, I think, so not having, the idea of being able to live rule free is, sounds great. I mean, who doesn't want to be able to not have
endless
rules?
summer.
An endless summer, the endless summer. But,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I think he also, part of him knows if you live rule free, like in the bank robbery shows that.
Yeah.
If you live rule free, there's going to be consequences.
Yeah.
eventually.
You broke your own rules, whatever,
Yeah.
because he goes off
Yeah.
script or whatever. The line is, "We're wasting time," and
Yeah.
and then Bodhi's laughing like, "That's what I love about you, Johnny. You're sharp as a knife." Okay, so that's the break into three I have, and then gathering the team. Initially, it's just Johnny. They're storming the castle, robbing the bank. The change of tactic, opening the vault, which they never did. The cop and the guard, and the robbery goes sideways. Bodhi, who hates violence. Okay, so this is where I guess Bodhi starts. To me, he's almost an opportunist. He hates violence, but he kills that cop and loses his team because of his decision to go into the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wanted. I don't know. Did he sense this was the last? Because now they weren't going to be able to do this next summer.
Right, because now, yes, yeah, I think that's why he wanted one bigger score, is because, because their identities have been made now. Because it's not just Utah that knows, Pappas knows, and who knows who else he's told.
Yeah, no, it's a
FBI.
known thing now. Yeah, they're not going to be.
Yeah, and I think it was almost just like an anger, like he killed the cop because you killed one of mine,
Sure,
Like, I think his Zen facade is cracking at this point. You know?
The pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
Hightower surprise I have is Utah arrested. as part of the robbery.
Get your damn hands off me.
Pappas lets Utah go because he knows where they're going. They pursue Pappas.
Hold on, you skipped a part where he punches
Yeah,
Carp in the face or whatever. Yeah.
Carp gets laid out.
yeah.
Yeah.
After all these years, I've still got one thing that you haven't figured out. Yeah, what's that? Astonish me, shithead, or whatever it was.
It's just,
He hits him in the face and respect from my elders.
yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, no,
Because you wanted to punch that guy in the face the whole time. You know?
Oh, I know it. I know.
As far as we're talking about expectations. What other movies do the main guys, the main buddy cops, punch out the yelling captain? This might, I don't know. Is this the only one? I can't think of.
Die Hard. She punches the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was the shithead the whole time.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Talking about requirements. If you got a shithead in the movie, he's got to get punched by the end.
Well, this is way later, but Michael Connelly wrote the Bosch series, and of course they put it on Amazon or whatever. And
He punches out
in
his
one of the
captain?
early seasons, Bosch is nowhere near as ludicrous and wild as these guys, right? Bosch is he's a bulldog. He latches onto you through investigation. He's not like going, he's going to get you. And his captain is, a paper pusher or whatever who has a beef out for Bosch, and has something against him and is always gunning for getting Bosch fired or whatever. And at some point, they're having an argument, and the captain tries to manhandle Bosch. And Bosch, ex-military, whatever. In the books, I think it's Vietnam. In the show, I think it's Desert Storm. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Sure.
But he does something and throws him through a plate glass window.
Oh, nice.
Almost sort of like punching him out or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
the
over,
same
as
beat,
over the
yeah.
top. Anyway, yeah.
And still the same message of get your damn hands
Right,
off.
yeah. Right.
So they go to the airport to chase down Bodie.
Yes.
Yep,
so
sorry, there's
this-
one more thing I want to say. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
During the robbery, I'd never thought about it. I've seen this movie 1,000 times, and I guess just hadn't really thought about it. Lance was watching it with me, and he's just wait. I can tell by his comments, that how into it he's not. Or on this, he goes when they're getting ready to do the robbery with Utah, he doesn't get a mask. Like he was, like it dawned on him. His, now his identity is
Right.
Everyone's going to see that he was a bank robber or whatever.
Yes,
I'm
he's burned.
yep,
Yeah.
you're right. They don't care, son.
Well, what other mask would be available? You got LBJ.
No, he says there's sorry, we don't.
mean-
But they never intended to fucking buy him a mask, Like,
Yeah.
they could have given him anything,
I mean, yeah.
He
a
could have worn a
Michael
Jason
Myers
mask,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, at some point though, he's not arrested because he still has his badge after he's been chasing Bodie, which he throws away at the end.
Yeah.
So at some point, it had to have been straightened out
Right.
because he's working with is Australia or New Zealand? I think,
I think it's New Zealand.
New Zealand police
Yeah.
to.
To apprehend him, yeah.
This high tower surprise, they pursue. Pappas is hiding the shootout, and then Pappas dies. Like, I was kind of bummed about that.
Stacey was too. She didn't remember. I mean, I was also bummed, but I remembered it. But
Yeah.
she had forgotten that and was definitely bummed out when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I liked Roach, fuck Roach for shooting Pappas in the back.
Sure. The dig deep down, psyching himself up to jump, and the execution of the new. This is all part of the storming the castle breakdown of the finale. Execution on the new plane. He jumps without a parachute.
Yeah,
He gets
Yeah,
Tyler
they leave
back.
him. They leave him in the plane
without a parachute.
without a parachute.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that he can't follow him or whatever. Yeah,
Right. He gets Tyler back.
The
to
guy
get
who's
ready.
been shot and bleeding out gets a parachute. Roach or
Yes.
whatever.
I was thinking about that this last time I watched it. This Roach has been shot.
Yeah.
When the parachute opens and grabs the air, what kind of force is
Oh, no,
exuded
he's-
on the body? And he's got a hole in him.
Yeah, he's dead when he hits the ground, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how would he die? This is just my messed up brain.
When it ripped. Yeah,
Did all his stuff fall out the hole?
Yeah, because that is going to be a jolt, right? I mean,
yeah.
that would have been a cool scene. Now I want that in there. They missed an opportunity to show that.
Like you're in the ground, just splat.
Yeah.
Ew.
There's some good exchanges between Johnny and Roach before they exit or whatever. Just Johnny's looking at him and he's what the fuck you looking at me while he's bleeding out and
Yeah.
you're going to be dead soon, Roach. I hope it was worth it.
cold
Don't listen to him. He's just scared.
All the blood's running out of your body.
Yeah, that's
Roach.
why you're cold.
That's why you're cold. He puts his jacket on him and shit. Like
Yeah,
it's
no.
Anyhow,
Don't listen to him. He's just scared.
he's just scared. But yeah, Roach is so interesting fact on that real quick. You remember Messner from I think it's Wade Messner from Justified. Oh shit, Raylan! I didn't know you were. That's Roach. That's the same actor. It blows my mind, but that's the same guy. Wade Messner. He I don't remember what seasons he was in Justified, but he
He sat at the other desk
No, he was a criminal. He wasn't he's one of the criminals and stuff. But Raylan runs across several times. But I don't know. And his voice he's just older, and that's how he talks. Oh shit, Raylan! Like
I'd have to go back and watch. I don't remember.
Yeah, I recognized his face when we were watching it. And I looked him up, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Roach from Point
I've
Break.
watched Justified a couple times.
Yeah.
I love that show. Yeah.
Yes, pretty good show. Anyhow, sorry, just
James LaGrosse.
maybe.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that sounds right. I don't remember. I looked it up once before, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets Tyler back, is reunited, Bodhi gets away. All right, so the final image, obviously, on the beach in I have Australia. Is New Zealand?
yeah,
It's the 50-year wave that Bodhi was talking about.
Okay, yeah,
Wherever
so-
that ended up. I know they filmed it in Oregon. So
I
Well,
think there's an
Oregon
interesting point. We're talking about Johnny and what lines he's willing to cross. Jumping
Yeah.
out of an airplane without a parachute is pretty damn nuts.
Yeah.
And even Bodhi, who is nuts, acknowledges that. God damn, you're one radical son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like I think he had to embrace that
Mhm.
and had to cross to some point to catch Bodhi. Otherwise, it was never going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because if he doesn't jump out, maybe Bodhi lets Tyler go. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But anyhow.
Bodhi on the biggest wave in 50 years goes out doing what so he goes out doing what he loves. Utah goes out and ends his way as well. So they both began at the height of their game, both at the end of their line, because Utah is no longer going to be law enforcement.
Yeah.
And Bodhi is done as this is his.
Yeah.
yeah, chances are they're going to be picking him out of the rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, he points that out, where am I going to go? Cliffs on both sides, not going to paddle in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, let me go out and catch one wave, man.
Yeah. I didn't know it was filmed in Oregon, but Oregon is notorious for having tremendously rough seas off their coast.
Wow.
And, when I was in the Navy, our ship was in Bremerton, Washington, and we would go down to San Diego. We'd have to go past Oregon, and it was always tumultuous. And the Coast Guard does.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They train.
Yeah, the Coast Guard does their rescue training off the coast of Oregon in those tremendous waves and
Where
rough.
the river comes into
Yeah,
the
so
ocean.
it is always rough.
Well, some people were talking about, in this movie, 50-year wave in Australia, New Zealand. Why couldn't they have just gone there and shot? Like they've been talking about this.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the film crew just go there and shoot it? But
Yeah.
budget reasons, I'm
but
sure.
say your budget's not going to be $24 million anymore. It's going to be whatever that costs.
Yeah, but I mean,
would
would they be able to catch big wave? I mean, would there be the weather for it? I don't.
I don't know.
Maybe
that had
not,
something
because
to do
if
with
the
it.
50-year storm doesn't hit, right, then now it's
But that's what some
we
people
all the
were
way out here
complaining
in these-
about.
these
Oh, you
calm
mean
waves.
actually waiting for the 50-year storm?
No. Just people are like, why didn't they go to New Zealand?
Oh, I got
Why
you.
did they just do in Oregon? They're talking about New Zealand, film in New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even the North Shore of Hawaii. I've heard that the waves,
Yeah,
when they hit the shore, it shakes the land.
You can feel the vibrations in the ground. Yeah.
Sure, it was a budget thing. Portland offered the cheapest way to do it.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, y'all ruined it for me now. Like I
Sorry.
thought that was New Zealand. So where to go?
I didn't know it either.
Well,
Well,
the accent that the guys had when they're coming up. Nobody's going out there today, mate.
Yeah.
right. No,
No
they-
one's been out. No one's going out.
They saw
Right.
it. I have as a final image a new, more pure version of Bodhi. So basically, Utah has become maybe a purer version of Bodhi.
Yeah,
than,
hybrid of the two.
Yeah, because he's not going to do the crimes, but he is definitely the Zen now. He's in a new Zen state. Like he tosses his badge, and
Right.
clearly he's not going to stop surfing. Probably,
So did y'all want him to let Bodhi go? Like, did it just bother you that he let him go, or should he have hauled him in and not let him go out there and catch the last wave? And like, did you care either way, or
I think you should have brought him in.
yeah?
I was thinking,
Like, fuck you. This is no.
Yeah.
You don't get this. Yeah.
right?
That would have been ultimate torture.
Yeah.
Sure,
But
but it's
I can't live in a cage, man.
yeah, but it's the whole bromance.
That's what you get. It's the whole
thing.
bromance, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about with Fast and Furious, he lets him go at the end of that too. It's the same thing. But at the same time, I guess Fast and Furious, he lets him live, and then we have all these, terrible sequels.
Then it's all about
We're in-
family after that.
It's all about family. Anyhow. But in this, yeah, they even address it, because I don't know, I love this background character, the New Zealand chief or whatever he is. What the fuck, Utah? You let him go.
Yeah,
He's not, no, I didn't. He's not coming back.
yeah, right. And
Because even the guy says, well, get him when he comes back in.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. So he let him go to his death, I don't know. It's,
yeah.
I
Well,
guess I'm
there's
torn.
I don't want to say that the throwing away the badge is an obligatory, or whatever scene. It has been done, like even as early as like Dirty. I don't know if you remember the end of Dirty Harry when he's chasing the Zodiac killer or whatever.
Yeah.
he winds, and he's all because Harry Callahan is always getting a beef for brutality and
Right. For excessive
rights
force
of the
stuff.
criminal and this kind of thing. Well, he winds up killing the Zodiac at the end of the movie, and he knows he's probably going to catch hell for that. And so the closing image of Dirty Harry, he's standing there. And he tosses his badge into the swamp or the lagoon or wherever. That's some little swampy water area, warehouse district or something, having just killed the Zodiac, right? And he tosses his badge. Of course, he's back as Harry Callahan too, so somebody must have fished it out for him,
Right.
Right.
What are you doing? Go get that.
You don't need that for the next movie,
You get your 10% off at the donut place with that badge.
Right. Which talking about I think the Dirty Harry movies largely hold up. I think 1 and 2, Magnum Force, I think is amazing. After that, I
Get silly, yeah.
I don't know about get silly. They're pretty good, but
Yeah.
the first two are really,
Really good.
So
you're okay with the scene of him throwing the badge away, or we could have in
think-
Point Break?
in Point Break, I think he's
It was
become who.
And if we don't see that, then because even their hair, he's growing his hair out.
Yeah.
His hair's longer, and Patrick seems shorter to me.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just because it was wet.
It looked like it was cut because he's probably disguised himself or.
Yeah, and one thing I thought was, did they film that first? You know what I mean? He's growing his hair out. Keanu, maybe his hair was long from Bill and Ted or Parenthood, which is interesting to me if they did film it first because you buy their emotions in that scene.
Sure,
You know?
sure.
So
Well, in terms of story timeline, you could see that Utah is becoming the new Bodie and
still surf every day.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, pass, consider, recommend. I picked it, obviously. I'm gonna consider it. No. Yes, it's awesome movie. I wanna is it perfect? No. Is it is there a lot of Keanu getting used to? Yeah, but it's a fantastic movie. It's a classic.
No, it is absolutely
Totally recommend.
absolutely a classic, and I do recommend it. Especially if you're into the genre or want to watch movies in that genre, this is a classic. In that, I think it's an enjoyable movie even as a standalone. I do think it is a little bit dated. The audience score is 65 on. I'm sorry, I would have given it a little higher score than say the Rotten Tomato fans did. But I do recommend it. Yeah.
All right, yeah, no, same here. It's definitely
definitely.
a recommend.
Yeah.
Love this movie.
How much longer do we have so I have a long list of things to say.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
Let it rip.
yeah.
I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry. I don't love this movie like you guys do.
Well, I really like it. I don't think it's.
All right. First of all, let me go through my little list that
All
I
right.
made. All right, first of all, Keanu. I love Keanu in Speed and The Lake House.
No,
And I don't like
romance. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that time travel stuff, but I actually like that movie, The Lake House. Okay, the Lake House.
Yeah.
What did I say? The Lighthouse.
Like, yeah.
Okay, Patrick Swayze. Love Patrick Swayze. Dirty Dancing, Black Dog, Ghost.
Yeah.
This one.
There's
okay.
a lot of shirtless Patrick Swayze in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
He's tiny. He's a tiny guy, or
Yeah.
was a tiny guy.
Yeah, but he's a good dancer too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, as far as bank robbery movies go, because of course this is what I'm thinking about when I'm watching. I'm sitting there thinking I'd rather watch Bandits, the one with Bruce Willis and Billy Bob
Yeah,
Thornton.
as far as bank robbery.
I love that movie. Or the Newton Boys,
Yeah, it was.
Matthews,
You're
McConaughey, and
mean, lady.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out there. This movie was okay. I couldn't bring myself to watch it again. That's why I couldn't remember some of the things that were done and said. Yeah, it's worth watching once, but if you want to see,
Other bank robberies. So yeah, I think it's it's a guy movie,
Yeah.
maybe that's what I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as surfing, that was one of my favorite things when we would go when we lived in California, and we would go out to the pier. I loved just sitting there and watching those guys out there on their surfboards and stuff. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
But as a movie altogether,
Yeah.
it's okay.
All right.
It was in focus, so it's good.
Is it a pass or a consider?
It's watch it by all means.
Yeah.
Make your own opinion of it. But
Sounds like a consider, yeah.
As a consider, I guess.
You
yeah.
Consider it once and then pass on it all the times after.
And I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
Because I know there are diehard people, that love this movie.
Well, it is a classic, and in the sense of the action genre, yeah.
So that means you're wrong. No, I'm kidding.
But
Totally kidding.
That's
But
fine.
like we talked about, we're not.
But you have to be
all
into-
agree on the
Yeah.
when we review a movie,
Sure.
we're not all going to love it.
But you have to be into that kind of genre for it to be a class.
All I could think of was, okay, to me, it was a bank robbery. I mean, I know it was everything y'all discussed. There was that conflict with Keanu
Yeah.
being friends with the bank robbers,
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not like the other bank robbery movies that I've watched because, like with Bruce Willis and Bandits,
Yeah.
you're sitting there kind of pulling for them, But
Yeah, you don't get to see them doing robberies too much. Basically, a couple times, one time at the end, they're actually fairly violent and
Right.
and I shouldn't be a fan of bank robberies working in a bank, but
Wow.
anyway,
I have a theory about bank robberies. If you're going to do a bank robbery, for every hour that you plan the robbery, you have to spend 7 to 10 hours planning the escape.
Sure.
Okay, because if you walk into a bank, they're going to give you the money. They're just going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But then what do you do, right?
Don't rob banks.
The opinions of
But
this.
if you're going to, Phil's got some advice.
Yeah.
no, please don't. I've been through
Phillips.
one. I've been through one, and that was one too many. I just don't.
It's crazy.
No.
But yes, you're right. Don't do it because you'd have to plan 10 times harder.
And the guy who did rob us, he got caught.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
saying. Like,
day.
they're going to give you the money, and then what do you do?
Yeah, there's Body Heat. There's a speech that Mickey Rourke gives in Body Heat.
Oh, is
That's, about crimes or whatever. And, if you're going to commit a crime and it's, there's a million ways you can fuck them up. You can think of 10 of them, you're a genius. I don't remember the whole speech, but basically the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah, well, there was a guy several years ago who had a genius plan, and he went to work for an armored car company. And he worked there, and he put the time in. He worked there for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. Gained their trust, got the access codes, got the keys to where they trusted him at night to load the pallets of money that was deposited there from all the pickups
Right.
onto these vans to take to the reserve or whatever they do. Put all that time in. So one night he's alone, he's got the keys, he's got the van, and he loads up a truck full of pallets of money. I'm talking probably $100 million. I don't know, some outrageous amount of money. He loaded them in the van and he drove away. And he was gone. No one knew where he was, couldn't find him. He got away. They busted him crossing the border into Mexico penniless. And they found the money in a storage shed in North Carolina. So he got the money, put all this time in, got the money, and then didn't know what to do. And he was arrested in Mexico with the money in a storage shed in North Carolina.
Right.
Are you telling me you got a van with $100 million in it and you can't figure out, you haven't thought 1 second how to get away?
Right.
Okay. I'm going up to a guy with a boat and saying, here's $50 million, sail me to Geneva. I don't know,
Right.
I don't know. So that's what I'm talking about, man. You know.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about you bring it back to the actual movie that we watched. They didn't ever go into the vault. They only got the till money
Yes.
to power them through their endless summer.
Yes.
And that's why at the end they break their major rule by going into the vault.
Yeah.
Because you never go into the vault. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's how you get caught, is going off the plan.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they were just using the money to finance their endless summer. Like it wasn't I'm going to retire off of this. It's every summer we're going to fuck the man. We're going to fuck the system.
Yeah. That was part of the
And then
thrill.
now that we're caught, well, now I want to retire off of this or whatever his plan was. He doesn't ever vocalize it, but yeah, he knew this was going to be the last score. Let's go after the vault so that but again, what was his plan after going into the vault? I mean, hell, he didn't even plan that out because that went sideways.
Yeah, everybody was surprised. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway.
Okay, sorry.
No,
But
that's
that
good.
was
No,
my
that's good.
opinion.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I guess back to what Sherry was talking about, like as far as you're saying, recognize it as a classic. And I agree with you, but like if you go through a list of classical musical movies, I don't know that I'm going to be able to appreciate that those are classics
no,
because
of
I
course
don't
not.
like musicals.
right. That's what I'm saying. So yeah.
They're all the same. They're crying and bullshitting and carrying on and singing and don't care. But
Right. The crying sister circle, I call them. Anyway.
well, just we can get into that. I'm sure we'll watch a musical at some point. But like,
Well, Anna versus
I hate
the
how they have
Apocalypse
to
is a zombie musical, which I recommend.
all the problems in there. They got to sing about all their damn problems.
Sure, yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, but
That is the
sound of-
exposition.
Yeah, but it was just in I guess the bad musicals. If I had to, and granted, I haven't seen a lot of musicals, but like the new Aladdin was one of them. Like there was a whole dialogue scene where they talked about Jasmine's problems, right? And it was clear from the dialogue scene what her issue was.
And they sang
And
about it.
immediately she sang about it. I'm like, I don't need it twice. Give me
Right.
one or the other.
No,
if
I
it's a
hear you.
musical, I guess I hate to say this, but remove the dialogue scene and let me just hear you wail
Right.
about
Well,
it.
I think that's supposedly how it's supposed to
I
be.
have to watch The Sound of Music every year.
Nice.
Anyway.
Have you ever seen it?
I haven't.
Oh, well, don't
Uh,
then. He
all
won't watch it with
Isn't
me.
it 3 hours or something?
Yeah,
It's real long.
Oh, yeah.
Very long.
Oh, God, it's the best.
That sounds terrible.
It does.
It does.
Sounds like a beating.
It is.
I'm
Anyway.
sure it's fantastic, and I'm glad people love it. But
Right,
And
exactly.
I go to work singing it, and everyone at work just hates it too. So
All right, is that it?
I think that's it. Did you obviously recommend it? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah. So that is Point Break,
Mhm.
and we are out.
Why do I have to learn to surf? Why can't I just walk around with this thing on my arm and act stone?
I'm like, oh, this is great. This is really great.
You have to start chanting or something, are you?
Oh, my.
Immediately no.
Yeah.
No, I will not watch it.
okay, that's the one I like.
Like surfing.
Steel Magnolias is a better movie than Last Action Hero. I'm going to say it right now.
That's a very elder millennial thing to say. Is they had the CGI Patrick Swayze's hair on. How many times has Keanu Reeves been named John?
I
Last
edit
Action
these
Hero.
things, Chris. You can say what you want. It's never going to show.